A time we honor the men and women who serve our country past and present. It's also an opportunity for us to give back to our veterans, some severely injured in the global war on terror. Joining us this morning is retired Marine Donny Daughenbaugh with Coalition to Salute America's Heroes. Good morning, sir. Thank you so much for your time.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
We do appreciate it. So talk to us about the organization, the work it does, and how it gives back to our veterans.
So what's really neat is that the coalition was started in 2004 to really address some of the returning veterans' needs that were coming back, because a lot of the issues that the VA were addressing in 03 and 04, they were still playing catch up with some of the stuff from Vietnam and post, that long peace period after Vietnam. So it started with the core focus of providing financial assistance, and it's kind of evolved. Everything started with the support going towards veterans. And then the coalition recognized the importance of providing support for caregivers. So then we started providing support for caregivers. And then more recently, we said, what's missing from this whole family recovery picture? Kids.
Yeah.
So we started a program that provides support directly to children through art and therapy and summer camps and just recovery efforts, because a lot of people don't realize post-traumatic stress is like the big buzzword from the global war on terrorism. And people don't realize that in families where children help fill a secondary caregiver role, they also they also can develop secondary post-traumatic stress. And it's that constantly being around edge. Is mom or dad gonna freak out? Or are they going to have an episode? Is something gonna trigger them? That changes their behavior.
Changes who they are.
It changes who they are, and it changes how they react and how they engage in social settings. And so we want them to have a safe space to be themselves and to engage with other kids going through similar situations. And everything that we do with our kids program, everything is paid for. The family or the children don't pay for anything. All of the resources, it's all done through Zoom or interactively, and all the materials are sent directly to the kids. It's really neat, and it's, we've got like more than 200 kids that are in this program now, and if we had funding for it, we would have 500 kids.
That's amazing.
And everything would be, it would be amazing, but it's a challenge. We're working on that.
Yeah. Hats off to those kids, because so often we do see those children step into that role, that capacity to take care of mom or dad, and so to see this type of approach, this holistic approach, to meet them where they're at and to address all of these needs. We know the needs are unique, right? Not
right.
Two people are not going to have the same needs, and so to see those be met in this way is really, really awesome. Talk to us about any sort of requirements or eligibility for these services. Yeah,
so the coalition started with the primary eligibility being having served in an imminent danger area, Iraq, Afghanistan, now Syria, parts of Iraq, anywhere that's been determined to be the global war on terrorism, boots on the ground, or in imminent danger, like Yemen or some of these really dangerous areas for coastal waters. They have to have been injured or disabled, and they have to have a disability rating of 30% or greater. So those are the base requirements, and we've never strayed from those. And that's one of the unique things to the coalition, is we've not strayed from the core. A lot of the other groups that exist today have constantly changed and broadened their scope of service and who they provide those services to. We're so busy with the people that we're helping now, we've never had to change who we provide the services to.
Yeah, certainly steadfast for those folks. How were you introduced to this group?
My story of being introduced to this group was pretty tough, actually. I was in the Marine Corps. I was in 03-11, which means I was an infantry rifleman, kicking in doors, doing all the hard stuff. And one night in Iraq, I was searching a guy's car who didn't want me to search his car, pulled out an AK-47 and shot me in the face. So the bullet actually broke through the left side of my face, broke my jaw, went up into the base of my skull, and the bullet, as I'm talking to you, stopped just outside of the stem of my brain, inside my skull. And that's where it's at now. So 2 years of medical discharge process for the Marine Corps, retirement. I got home from the Marine Corps, didn't want to do anything, didn't want to do anything outside the house. So unfair to my family, so unfair to my kid, to my daughter, who, you know, was, I missed her birthday to turn 1 when I left. She was 2.5 when I got home. And I recognized right away it wasn't right. A friend of mine from high school was the very founder, one of the first members of the organization. He saw what I was doing to myself, to my family, and he said, I'm not going to let you do that. And he basically drugged me out of the house and said, you're going to go to this baseball game with me. You're going to go and do some of these fun things. And not only that, I want your help in reaching out to other people that are isolating. And I want you to reach out to them and help them take down that wall they're putting up and get them involved in some of these events. And I started with that as a volunteer. I got pretty good at it. And now I've been a part of this organization for years. And we have changed a lot of lives. And going into Memorial Day, the one thing that I can say that really makes me proud is that I've had 9 people over the last several years that have called me, texted me, emailed me, and said, you were the reason that I didn't put a gun in my mouth and pull the trigger. And that is such a responsibility and such a burden that it makes me want to try more to have that number go up and have that number increase.
To help more people.
To help more people so that I can be that beacon for someone who feels like they're at the bottom and they have nothing else that they can live for. I want them to see my example I'm setting and say, man, if that guy can go through what he's gone through and he can do it, I can do it. And eventually I want to turn them to where they're the one that's reaching out to someone going through a tough time, you know, recognizing those signs, and they can pull them back.
Yeah, reminding them that that darkness can end and there is light to be able to do this. Really quick, we're running out of time, but where can people go for more information?
I would send them to our website, which is www.saluteheroes.org. And then we're super active on our socials, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Okay. Donny, thank you so much for your time, your service. We do appreciate you coming on the show this morning.
Thank